Welcome back to the show, everybody. We've got a special guest here, Bode Swanson with Salus Homecare, who provides 5-star customized home care for years. You can look it up on Google. It's all over the place. Bode, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Good
How
to be here,
are
Bree.
you?
Good. Doing good.
Nice to have you back. It's been a while since you've been here.
Yeah, we've been providing healthcare services in Laguna Woods since 2004. And initially, when we started, we had a relationship with Laguna Woods, and we came on several times back then, and we didn't get lost, but we stopped doing the Laguna Woods thing for a while because we needed to kind of expand our service lines and figure those out, and now it's kind of full circle, and we're back, and so it's good to be here.
Well, you have multiple different options, right, for senior care, including several professional partnerships.
Yeah. What the original vision that my partner and I had, we wanted to be a full continuum. It starts with caregiving in the home. So if someone needs extra help with dressing, grooming, bathing, toileting, feeding, companionship, that's where we started. Frankly, the reason we started there is at the time there was no barriers to entry. Anyone could put up a shingle. There was no state licensure. There was no certification. It was just easy to get in. It's not the case now, thankfully. But then in 2011, we added a skilled home health piece, which is a nurse will. So if you go to Saddleback, for example, and you have a shoulder surgery or some kind of event, you're most likely going to discharge with home health. An RN or a physical therapist or an occupational therapist will come into your home and provide extra care. Medicare covers it or their insurance. So we got into that, and took us a while to figure out how to do that really well. Now we're a 4.5-star home health agency. And then in 2014, we added the hospice piece and palliative. And the hospice piece has just been so wonderful. It's just such an amazing service. It attracts so many mission kind of oriented people. I don't mean mission in a religious way. I mean mission like people who truly have a passion for
help from the heart.
Yeah, it just attracts great people. So that's the continuum. It's caregiving, it's home health with nursing and therapy, and then palliative, if you're kind of somewhere between, like you're not quite ready to start curative treatment, but you know you're kind of getting close, and you might need to consider some other options. Palliative's a really good option, and then the hospice piece. And the hospice, we're a 4-star. We're the only agency that I know of in Orange County that is a 4.5-star home health and a 4-star hospice. And really there aren't many agencies who have the full continuum like we have. Maybe a couple in Orange County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So walk us through how that might look. So starting to hospice.
Well, the idea, I think, to have an agency or a relationship with an agency that can age with you or that can be a resource to you at any level of your healthcare kind of journey, for lack of a better word. Mm-hmm. And there's one call you can make. I mean, you just call Salus and you talk to me or you talk to one of my case managers, or a lot of people listening probably know us and have used or have experience with some of our case managers and have a relationship there. They just got a call and say, look, this is where I am and these are some of my needs. Maybe you can help. And sometimes we can't. And we'll say, what might be better for you is a X or a Y. And so we can help with that at no charge or whatever. We just want to be a resource. But more often than not, if they call us with any kind of healthcare need, question, concern, we can help. We can help.
Yeah. And how does your position in the home really relieve current caretakers, in other words, children?
Question. No, it's a great question.
Grandchildren?
Yeah, statistically, the primary caregiver of someone who is kind of in need of formal healthcare services ages more quickly than the one receiving the care, because they're expending extra time, extra energy, extra stress trying to provide for their husband or wife, their loved one.
Right.
And so there's a factor of that primary caregiver aging really quickly. And then for the children, what ultimately I think if you can afford the luxury of having care from a quality agency in the home, what happens is it creates space for the children to visit you and have the relationship be about the relationship, not about the children providing that care, dressing and grooming and bathing and toileting. And it gets a little personal. It gets like, you don't know that, I don't know that I'll want my kids, carrying that burden. I want my relationship with my kids or my grandkids when they come to see me to be about, how was your baseball game this weekend, or how are your kids or whatever. Like, so all of these services help to keep the relationship about the relationship, not so much about the stress that comes in trying to manage. And I know like so many moms out there, like navigating their own children's lives and their parents' lives at that sandwich kind of place. And to have an agency or to have trusted partners who can provide some of the services that create a little bit more peace of mind for a daughter or a son in that situation is gold.
Yeah, it's caretaking is a full-time job sometimes. Have you ever found that maybe the person in need of care is a little resistant to having somebody come into the house?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
So especially how do you overcome those challenges? Because there's a trust issue, right?
Yeah.
You've got to build that rapport, and you can only do that over time.
Yeah. Okay, I would say for the home health piece, when you leave a hospital and a doctor says you need to have a nurse come in or a therapist come in, that's easy,
right?
Because the doctor's saying, hey, you need this,
right?
And we all want to get better. And who doesn't want a therapist to come and help them with their gait or whatever to get better? When it comes to caregiving, it's expensive. It's private pay. It's not free. So there is a financial component to this. And there's ways that we can help and find, like if they're a veteran or there's some other ways that we can help mitigate some of that cost. But I get some of those concerns about the finances. And I get why people would want to do everything possible to avoid going to that place. But eventually, not eventually, but it does sometimes become inevitable. The tricky one is hospice, palliative and hospice. So many of us have a stigma in our minds about what hospice means. And it's like, oh, well, it's over, or we're giving up, or it means that I'm going to die. And we don't want to talk about death in our society. We're not comfortable talking about it, but it shouldn't be seen as that dark negative thing. Hospice is simply about comfort. When you go on to hospice services, you tap into government funds that will provide for your medications, for bedding, for medical supplies, for a nurse, social worker, chaplain, people to come into the home, both from a clinical, medical, and a social standpoint, to help your life be a little bit better. And so you get the most out of your final 6 months, year, 18 months, however long you have.
Right.
And sometimes palliative is a better way to start as opposed to hospice because it doesn't have that stigma and it just kind of eases you in. But if there's one message I would have to people about hospice, it's just to have the conversation with their doctor, with their loved ones, and a reputable agency, and to look at the services that it provides and not be so alarmed by the word, hospice. And it's like, this it means I'm giving up, or it means I only have a week left to live. It's none of that.
It's not that.
So just maybe have some conversations about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was a great conversation to start with. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, good to be here.
Appreciate you being here,
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Thank you. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.